So you guys been sharing this. U.S. Senate approves anti-BDS bill, slowdown of Syria withdrawal. So the U.S. Senate has passed legislation defining United States security policy in the Middle East, including a measure that would allow state and local governments to sanction those who support boycotts, divestiture, and sanctions against Israel. Israel is without a doubt one of the best friends in the world, says Senator Jim Risch, an Idaho Republican. Certainly in that neighborhood they live, which is a dangerous... All right. The anti-BDS measure is designed to see that BDS activity is tamped down and that is not appropriate to use against our friend Israel. Critics decried the measure as contrary to the free speech rights of Americans. That's because it is contrary to the free speech rights of Americans under the First Amendment. Our country was founded upon the concept and in the midst of a great boycott. That's what Rand Paul said. And here's the second part of the bill, U.S. troops in Syria. In addition to supporting Israel, the legislation signals strong sentiment among politicians for continuing the limited U.S. military engagement in Syria. So on December 19th, we all remember when this happened, Trump announced he was pulling 2,000 U.S. forces out of Syria, claiming ISIL had been defeated. Later, he backtracked on the decision amid an outcry from Congress and no clear timetable. So basically, the Senate has decided, and we'll see what happens with this in the House, but the Senate has decided that you don't have the free speech rights to protest the actions of the Israeli government, but organizations and states and other agencies have the rights to protest you protesting that. So they can sanction somebody who is supporting BDS, who is sanctioning the Israel and the Israeli government. But so basically, if your speech is that which the establishment approves of, your First Amendment rights are fine. If it isn't, well, then they can pass some policy against that. Do you see how that's contradictory? Do you see how that doesn't work out? You can't just say, hey, you guys can't sanction these people, but these people can sanction you for sanctioning these people. Either we all have freedom of speech or nobody does. And keep in mind, the BDS is all about the actions of the Israeli government. It doesn't mean somebody is anti-Israel. I don't like that terminology. I think we need to do away with it. It's not anti-Israel because I'm opposed to the actions of the U.S. government. That doesn't mean I'm anti-America. I'm not. I live here. This is where I live. I live in the United States. This is my home. I'm not against it. I'm against the actions of our government. Just like people all across the world are against the actions of the Israeli government and what they're doing. But we are so propagandized about this issue that we can't have that conversation. I mean, it's... The only place you can hear conversations like that are YouTube shows. And that's beyond disturbing. So that's interesting. If your free speech is establishment approved, we got you. If it's not, And then, of course, the second part of this. We're not going to withdraw from Syria now. The only positive thing to potentially come out of the Trump administration. That was the only time where I was just like, wow, there are a million things I don't like about Trump, but this is not one of them. This is a good thing. Not happening. Didn't happen. Just bullshit. Just bullshit. And it wasn't just him working alone. It was everybody else. It was everybody else too. So now when I hear about Trump, I mean, there was talk of withdrawals from it. Now, I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't get excited about that stuff anymore because I'll believe it when I see it. This administration has proved they cannot be trusted. Trump has proved many times over he's not a non-interventionist. That was a bunch of lies. Most of us knew it was likely a lie. It's been confirmed. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
go through it together and make it our own. Get your